Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So as you can see, we have your tarot and your oracle cards laid out. We also have some additional oracle card messages, and we're going to be using the Astro Dice today. So let's get into it. This is just a general message about your career. I left it very open-ended, so we'll see what we get, Pile 1. So we have Justice, we have the Nine of Wands, we have the Five of Cups, we have the Wheel. Your bottom of the deck card was the Sun, which I love. We have Books. You connect to your life purpose through your involvement with books. We have Creative Expression. Your soul longs to express itself creatively. We have Courage. By shining brave and true and bright, my courage now returns this night. We have Gratitude and Thanks. We have Full Moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. And we have Poet, expresses soul insights in symbolic language. Okay, lots of messages here. Your tarot is pretty incredible, Pile 1. Like, your tarot messages are amazing. With this Nine of Wands, you can see, I really like the way this is depicted here because it's quite different than the typical Nine of Wands image. Usually on the Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a person facing us, the viewer, and they're holding their wand, and there's a bunch of wands stacked behind them, lined up in a row, and it looks like they've been defending their post for a really long time and they're very tired. Here it's a bit different. You know, these wands are like trees, right? It's a dark forest, and the forest almost looks like a starry night, right? And then on the other side of the forest, we have a mountain and we have the sun coming up. And so it kind of looks like this little kitten has to go through this dark forest with only the light of the stars before they can climb this mountain to get to the sunrise. And so it feels like a long journey, right? It feels like they've come so far, and yet they still feel far away from where they want to be. And so you may feel like that in your life, like, I feel like I've worked so hard for so long, and yet I still am not where I want to be. Like, where is, you know, when are these scales going to be in balance? Like, when is this going to catch up? Like, when are my efforts going to match the reality that I'm seeing? And with the Five of Cups, you know, there could have been things that didn't work out, some disappointments, you know, maybe things haven't been progressing or moving at the rate that you wanted them to, or there's something in your life that you put so much effort towards, and yet you still don't feel happy. You still don't feel content. And so there's something there about divine intervention. And I say that because we have the Justice card here, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So there's some sort of event here, some sort of divine intervention that's going to sort of encircle you in this bright light, this optimism, this hope, this sense of contentment. Like, this is where you want to be. You want to be, you know, happy and content with where you're at in your career, and I don't feel like you feel that way currently. And so for some of you, you're kind of even wondering, like, do I even want to continue on this journey? Is this even the right journey for me? Is this really where I want to go? And for others of you, you know, you're sitting here wondering, like, should I just stay with these Two of Cups here? You know, should I just settle for this? You know, like, should I cut my losses here? Should I walk away from these Two Cups because, you know, they're not the Ten of Cups? Should I settle for less? No, right? Like, you deserve that happiness. And so I'll give a personal example of like what this could look like, but you know, definitely take everything how it resonates in your life. You know, there's a lot of you watching, right? But there's sort of this idea of the sunken cost fallacy. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with that, a personal example. When I was graduating with my bachelor's in psychology, I had this difficult research lab experience, and all of a sudden I decided that I wasn't going to go for my PhD in psych. I was going to switch, and I was either going to do nursing or PA school, but I was just going to change everything. I was having a moment of crisis. I was being super emotional and freaking out, and I made a poor decision, but I made up my mind and I committed to it. And so, I was doing all my prereqs, I was getting my, patient care experience, I was getting my letters of recommendation, and as I was doing all of these things, I was getting progressively more and more miserable. I was working hard, I was making A's in my classes, I was knocking out that patient care experience. I didn't even mind working, as a certified nursing assistant. I didn't mind working in a doctor's office. I didn't mind doing home health. I didn't mind any of it, but I wasn't happy. And I knew in my gut that I didn't want to be a PA. And that's what ultimately, what I decided. I got into grad school. It's incredibly difficult to get into PA school. I did it. I got into my, first choice school. I went for a semester and I was so miserable. I can't even describe to you how miserable that I was. And I kept thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm gonna graduate, I'm gonna have a good paying job that I'm gonna hate and hate and hate until I'm 40 and I decide I don't wanna keep doing this, and I'm gonna go back to school and change my career then? How is this sustainable? I am so miserable. I'm so miserable. And so even after months of agonizing and thinking about how much money and time and effort I have lost and how scared I was, and it was hard. I was a first generation college student. It was just difficult. I had no one to turn to for advice. And yeah, I agonized over it, and eventually I left. And even after I left, I still was well, maybe I wouldn't hate nursing so much. Maybe I should just do nursing. And finally I had a conversation with my cousin's wife, and she was like, can you just shut up about nursing? Can you just let that go? She's like, you're about to repeat the same mistake. She's like, just drop it. She's like, you just need to make your peace with the fact that you have wasted this time and money. You've just got to let it go. She said, because if you continue to try to do something in the medical field, you are going to be miserable. It's not for you. It's just not. It's great for other people. It's not for me. It didn't feel right. And just because you can do something doesn't mean necessarily that you should. And she's like, if you continue down this path, you're just going to waste even more time and even more money. You think you're saving yourself time and money, but you're just repeating the same mistake. That's the sunken cost fallacy. So really I needed to cut my losses, right? And that's how eventually I found my way to a master's program in social work. That's a whole nother conversation, but maybe for some of you, you're facing that kind of dilemma where you feel like you put so much time and effort into something, and money even, but to leave it feels like too great of a loss. But actually, if you stay in that thing, whether it's a job, a major, a career path, or a whole field even, if you continue to stay in that, you're just wasting more time. You're delaying this happiness. And so it kind of feels like, to me, Spirit is saying, we would like you to be brave enough to cut this out yourself. If not, we're going to have to divinely intervene in a way that's going to balance out these scales, because you deserve financial security. You deserve to feel happy and passionate and good about what you're doing, and to feel like you have purpose in what you're doing. And right now, no one is benefiting from you being in this energy. And so Spirit just is really asking you to trust them and to be brave enough to step up when they call you to step up. This isn't a tower moment. I want to be very clear about this. It's not a tower moment. It's more so some sort of divine intervention that's going to open up an opportunity for you to get out of this Five of Cups energy, okay? So something good is coming into your life. I want to be very clear about that. It's something good. It's not something horrible that pushes you out. It's something good. It's a good event. It's like the right person, the right conversation, the right door opening up to you, this aha epiphany moment, like something is happening in your life that pushes you onto the right path, okay? And with gratitude and thanks, like that tells me like you're gonna feel so grateful when this happens. Now, there is still need to balance this out, right? Like spirit can, you know, it was probably very divinely guided that I had that conversation with my cousin's wife. You know, like her and I did not have a relationship before. It was a long series of events that led to me staying with her and talking to her and all that. Like we were not close. We did not have a relationship. We were not two people who had really interacted at all. So it felt like a divinely guided moment. Like when she was talking to me, it was like I had been agonizing over this for so long, and she made the answer clear to me in less than 10 minutes. It was amazing. And so like that moment felt very divinely guided. And so even still, I still had to do the work, right? Like after that conversation, I had to apply to grad school. I had to research an entirely different field. I had to start over entirely from scratch. It was a very humbling experience and very difficult. And it was a completely different atmosphere. And yeah, even the way that the classes are set up, it's so different than what I was used to, even as an undergrad in psychology. So, you know, you're still going to be asked to put in the work, but the message that I'm getting is that it's kind of like it's work that you're happy to do, you know, because here's the thing, like you've always had a strong work ethic. You've always been someone with an amazing capacity for a greater vision, but it was just like somewhere along the way you lost sight of what am I even doing all of this for, and then you got really disheartened, and then that created an issue probably with your motivation, you know, with your sense of purpose really. And so you're kind of going to get back to enjoying the process. You know, you haven't enjoyed the process of working towards a goal for a really long time because you didn't really feel invested in the end result, and now you see it. Now you know what you're working towards, and you know what you're working towards is going to bring you this happiness, and so that is going to make it so much smoother for you. And Taurus energy is one of like luxury, right? So this tells me that like your financial future looks abundant. It's just going to take some work to get there. Okay, and so with this poet card here, I'm kind of getting this energy that you may be wanting to do something that is creative, something that is maybe more difficult to find success in, something that's maybe not necessarily labeled as practical. And so that may be why you've been hesitant to take that leap of faith and go after it, because, you know, it kind of feels like, could I make a living off of this? Maybe I should just stick with what I have, kind of thing. And so kind of makes me feel like Spirit wants you to be the author of your own story, and know that you can go for it, and know that you wouldn't feel those like that tugging, you know, at your heartstrings. Like you wouldn't feel that way if you weren't meant to go after it. Some of you literally could, you know, want to be poets or writers or, you know, something like that as well. But you don't have to be. It feels more like Spirit is saying, you know, we want you to feel like you're the author of your own story here, as well as like the two birds here together. I really feel like for some of you too, like you just want to be in a better environment. Like there's something about your environment that just doesn't feel like you belong. You know, you feel out of sorts. I felt that way in PA school. Like I did not feel in any way, shape, or form like I was meant to be there. I felt like my soul was screaming at me like, this isn't for you, this isn't for you. And it just wasn't, you know, it just wasn't my environment. And I felt that way even when I was at the doctor's office that I was working at. I was like, I just don't resonate with this. And there's nothing like against the medical community in any way. I would even consider doing medical social work, but just as a PA, like I wasn't happy in that role. It wasn't what I enjoyed, and it felt more of like, kind of like I'd been handed a script and I was just saying the words, but I wasn't connecting to it. Like I was just, you know, fulfilling someone else's idea of like what I should do, and, you know, hey, I showed up and I'm reading the words, but I don't feel anything. That's kind of like the energy of how I felt. It just wasn't my place, you know? And sometimes things, you can't exactly like articulate why it's not right, but it's just not right. And so that may be also part of the thing here, is that maybe you can't explain it, but just in a certain way, like it just doesn't resonate. And I think also too, like you deserve to romanticize your life. Like you deserve to be in love with your career, in love with what you do. And I think for many of you, like you really associate your career with a purpose. Like you want to feel like you have a meaningful career. Like that's not to say you don't care about finances or stability or anything like that. You do, but you also need more than that. You know, like your heart's got to be in it, pile one, and it doesn't feel like your heart's been in it for quite some time. Okay, you may find some signs in books. This could also be like, you know, a green light go for those of you who like want to be an author or a writer or do something creative that involves writing. I said that weird, writing. Sorry, I had something in my eye and then I got distracted. But yeah, so that could be a really like triple confirmation for some of you. This could also be speaking to the fact that you may need to study or go back to school for some of you. But yeah, I think anything involving creative expression, and again, there could be some signs and synchronicities from your spirit guides in books, so maybe just be on the lookout for that. Okay. Also, if you guys hear talking in the background, I'm so sorry. I'm having like a little difficulty in my filming space today. I hope it's not too distracting. Okay. So we have happiness here and we have transition. That's exactly what it is. Like this transition card, even the 11 here, like this feels like something maybe you even subconsciously hoped for, but maybe you were too scared to admit or say out loud. But you are definitely like the wheel of fortune, like the wheel is turning. You're moving into a different phase, a new chapter. There's a new start. Like you're in a transitional period. So maybe for some of you, you're about to graduate school, or you're considering changing your major, you're leaving a job to start a new one, or you're unemployed right now, or, you know, like you've graduated but you're not sure what you're gonna do. You know, things are kind of up in the air and a little bit uncertain, but it feels like Spirit just really wants to come through and say, like, even with all of these changes, the 5 here, a lot of changes coming in, but don't worry, like you're gonna be happy at the end of all of this. And yeah, there may be a little bit of a process to get to that point, but you will get there. I'm sorry, now the landscapers are outside. There's way too much noise. Okay, I'm gonna finish up your reading and then I'm just gonna have to take a break for pile 2 and pile 3. I don't like to stop in the middle of readings because when the messages are flowing like that, I feel like when it gets interrupted, it's really difficult to come back to it. So I'm so sorry for the noise. Hopefully it's not too bad for you all. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, so I think I want to let's take your tea leaf messages and then we'll do Astro Dice. Yeah, okay. We have mountain, major challenge to overcome. Okay, yeah. This is really clarifying this then. So what you're in now, I think, is this 5 of Cups. And it may even be mourning something that didn't work out. Like maybe you had your heart really set on going to a certain school and getting into a certain program or getting a certain job and you didn't get it. Or maybe you were like me and you got what you wanted and then you were like, oh, this isn't actually what I want. Now what? And so this is what you're meant to do now. Now you're meant to go through the forest, have trust, and climb that mountain and get to the sun. Yeah, the sun is the destination here. I love that. Even the Wheel of Fortune here looks like a sun. So yeah, the light will come back in. It for sure will. It's gonna be a long road. It's not gonna be overnight success. It is gonna require work and strategizing and getting organized and having a plan in place. But you're so hardworking and you're so ambitious, Pile 1, like it's nothing. Like you got this. You know, you can definitely overcome this. You know, kind of the energy of like you're just meant to climb the mountain, you're not meant to carry it around. Like you can do it. It may take some time, but you know, anything that is stable and that you want to have longevity and that's going to be long lasting takes time to build, right? It doesn't happen overnight. And when we rush through things, that's when we have a falling tower, right? That's when we have things that are unsustainable. So yeah, it's all going to be worth it, and you're building. So I'm sorry, you guys are going to see a weird jump cut, most likely. I had to stop filming. It was getting way too loud, and I don't like to hear a lot of racket in the backgrounds when I watch readings, so I'm sure you don't like it either. So I apologize for that. Landscapers were next door. Okay, so we've covered this mountain card. Now the next one was butterfly. This is where I got interrupted. Okay, so a change for the better. So transformation, transition, moving into a new chapter. Wheel is turning in your favor. So this is telling us like when this wheel turns, it's going to be good luck, okay? It's going to be a change in a better direction. You're going to be on top of the wheel. You're not going to be crushed by the wheel, okay? We're headed towards the sun energy in terms of your career here. So it's going to be a change for the better. It may be difficult, you know, in terms of the journey, but you are headed in the right direction. Oh my gosh, you got the sun card twice, happiness and well-being. Yeah, like all these changes in your career are meant to bring you to a place of happiness, okay? A place of contentment with what you're doing with your life. We have rose, romance is in the air. Okay, for some of you, you could be meeting your partner as a result of this career change. So this could literally be like falling in love with a coworker. This could also be signifying that whoever your future partner is, they could be a work collaborator with you. So maybe you start a business and then you meet someone and they end up having something to offer to help you with the business. So for example, like maybe you are like wanting to be a writer, and so maybe you have like the draft of your novel, or you have a collection of poems, or you know, you wrote a screenplay, and then you end up meeting someone who is actually like a literary agent, you know, and they help set you up, or you know, their brother works in publishing and so they help you through that connection. So it could be that your love life is in some way influenced by your career, and your career is influenced by your love life. So just take whatever resonates. But yeah, this could also be signifying that like once your career is settled and you're feeling like you're in a better place, then you actually have time to focus on love. If you've been feeling very stressed and like down and depressed and like you don't even really want to talk or date anyone, you know, feeling better about your career could also help your love life because you won't be so stressed and down and feeling bad about yourself. Okay. And then we have barrel. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Yeah, I think that's exactly where you're at right now with the 5 of Cups. So that's definitely changing. We've got the Sun card twice. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. We've got Justice. So just believe that you deserve in these positive changes, because Spirit is really supporting you. Like there's definitely something there about you having something that you're meant to do, and Spirit wanting to support you in finding your happiness and your joy through what you're doing to make money. So yeah, looks very positive, Pile 1. All right, so we're gonna do the Astro Dice, and then we'll just end with your Secret Garden messages. Now, this may be a little bit loud, so if you're wearing headphones, you may want to lower the volume. This is my first time filming a reading with these, so, okay. So, Pile 1 here, Astro Dice. Career message for Pile 1. Okay, so we've got the 4th house here. Oh my gosh, give me 1 second, guys. I had forgotten to turn the fan on and it was way too hot. Okay, so we had the 4th house, we have Scorpio, and we also have the South Node. So there's a lot here about transformation, okay, because Pluto, Scorpio, death energy, like you're going through a rebirth, right? And so you're essentially like moving away from your South Node and into your North Node energy. So you can look at your birth chart and see what your placements are. It's always going to be the opposite sign. So for example, my South Node is in Gemini, and so my North Node is the opposite sign to Gemini, which is Sagittarius. So definitely look at your birth chart, because that could also be giving you some clues about where the direction your career path is taking you. And with the 4th house here, that talks about self-discipline, it talks about our routines, it talks about divine protection, and it also talks about our stability. So how relevant is all of that? So definitely, and there's also an energy there with the 4th house of Cancer and home and family. And so if you're wanting a career path that's going to support a family, support you buying a home, having a sense of stability, that is definitely guaranteed for you, as well as emotional fulfillment. But you are going to have to go through that transformation, that transition. You are going to have to confront some fears, some limiting beliefs, some shadows, right? That's that South Node energy. You know, the South Node is kind of like the role that we played in our past life, that we were sort of typecast in. You know, like you're really good at playing that role, but it's time for you to step out of your box and do something different. So that would be like, you know, on Friends, you know, Jennifer Aniston, right? Like iconic character, Rachel. And after that, everyone expected her to continue to play roles like Rachel, right? The sweet, you know, spoiled girl next door kind of vibe. And so to see her step out of that and do something different, that would be her getting into her North Node. So if she were to do like an action movie or even be a director instead of an actor, like that would be something different. And so there will be something like that in your career where you're meant to make a shift and you're meant to step into that North Node energy, but there is going to be stability. So things kind of have to be broken down to be reassembled and put back together. And so yeah, the process is going to be a bit difficult, you know, a bit time consuming, but what is at the end of it? All of that Sun card energy, all that joy and optimism and even love, right? With the rose, even love. I also feel like you're just going to start to love what you do. Like you're going to start to love your life. You're not going to wake up with this dread in the morning because you feel unfulfilled and you feel like you're doing the wrong thing and it's not resonating with your soul and your heart. Okay? So very positive, very positive. Okay. So we have joy. Make time for the little things today. Try to find joy now as best as you can. Like I know with that 5 of Cups it's difficult, but I think if you can hold on to your optimism now, it's going to make the path a lot smoother for you. And we have generosity, sow seeds of kindness. With this generosity card, it's really speaking to the fact that you are going to be in a place with your career where you have more than enough. And when you finally have more than enough, you have some to share. So Spirit's just encouraging you, like when you get to that point where you're not just financially stable, but you're financially abundant, remember that and give back. So whether that is you being a mentor to other people, you being a support system or an inspiration to other people, or even, you know, making a donation to like your favorite charity or something like that. Yeah, that could be really, really helpful. Okay, so pile 1, this was your reading. I meant for this to be a short reading, and I have a feeling it's going to be like a 30-minute reading. So anyway, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. I know they can be annoying, so I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who chooses to do that. And yeah, if you want to see more career or life path readings, let me know. And I will see you all in my next one. Take care, pile 1. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So we're gonna go through your tarot and your oracle, but I couldn't fit everything in the screen. So we have more oracle cards, and we're also gonna look at the astro dice today. Oh, and we also have some tea leaf fortune cards. So we have kind of a nice little reading here. So we have the King of Wands, we have the Eight of Swords, we have the Seven of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Wands, and we have the Star card. We also have Full Moon in Aquarius, show the world the real you. We have Trust, I am safe, I am secure. In love, I trust, my faith endures. We have Mentor, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. We have Orphan Child, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. And we have Prayers and Wishes to start us off. Wow, big energy here. I also really like that this is the second time I have chosen the Blooming Cat Tarot, and the Seven of Pentacles has come out, and I just think that's adorable because the Seven of Pentacles is a metaphor for growing a garden and like patiently waiting for the fruits of your labor to be evident and be ready for harvest. So I just think that's so cute that Blooming Cat Tarot, this card keeps coming up. But anyway, so in terms of your career, with the King of Wands, I feel like this is the energy that you are going to be stepping into. And I think that for many of you, you may have understood that this was within you and that you were capable of this energy. But I think for most of you, you've been pretty blind to it with the Eight of Swords. You know, like maybe you thought you could be in this energy, but I think that for quite some time, you've been kind of plagued with this self-doubt. With the King of Wands, this is someone who is very action-oriented. This is divine masculine energy. Remember, just talking about energy, we're not talking about gender. But this is someone who can assert themselves, someone who is not necessarily that they're gonna act impulsively, but this is someone who doesn't overthink things. This is someone who plans a course of action and then goes for it. They don't hesitate. They don't spend time over planning or second guessing. This is someone who is confident, someone who is a good networker, someone who's very charming and creative, someone who is capable of really like creative problem solving, and someone who approaches ideas with a very fresh and new perspective. And someone, again, who is just so, it's that drive, it's that passion. Like it's really led by this inner fire. And the King of Wands is someone who really goes with his gut and goes with his, it's that inner fire, but like the heart's desire. You know, and so it's really led by passion. It's a little bit different than the King of Cups. You know, the King of Cups is more sort of following spiritual guidance, whereas the King of Wands just follows that inner voice. That is, again, it's more of a feeling, you know, and so that's a huge shift. Like the Eight of Swords is someone who is trapped in their own mental prison, right? Someone who is trapped by self-limiting beliefs, whether that comes from their own insecurities or that's something that's been projected upon them by society or unsupportive people. And, you know, they've subconsciously taken that on as their own. It kind of varies sometimes, or sometimes it's a little bit of both. But yeah, you're getting out of that energy of feeling stuck and stagnant and trapped. And, you know, sort of like what you've been patiently waiting for is finally coming to fruition. So really what is being asked of you is to continue to trust in this process, but the universe is about to hand you a wand, and they need you to step up and be the King of Wands. They need you to take that wand, because this is an offering from the universe, like an offering from the sky out of nowhere. Star card, this is a wish coming true for you. This is a chance of a lifetime kind of energy. So when you're handed that opportunity, you got to run with it. You got to move. The King of Wands is someone who moves, right? Like he goes after things, he travels. And so it's very action oriented. So when you're handed that opportunity, you can stay stuck if you want to, but it's time to step up and go for it. And part of it is going to be stepping into the limelight, because this is Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries energy. This is center stage energy, but you also have Aquarius energy twice. So you're likely doing something that involves other people. So this is having a customer base, this is having fans, a following. Eyes are on you, okay? So you're definitely going to be someone who's respected in their field, someone who's well known in their field, but you have to be authentic, and you have to pour your heart into it. You have to pour your soul into it, your passion into it, and you have to trust in the process that it's going to be well received. And so you're physically like being handed an opportunity from the universe, and then you physically have to take that opportunity and create something from it, okay? And then what you're creating is going to have an audience of some sort, and you're gonna have to be okay with being your authentic self. You know, Aquarius is very confident. It's the opposite sign to Leo, and it deals with the collective and group. So not being afraid to stand out, not being afraid to be weird and different from the crowd, okay? And you've got wishes twice, because the Star card is about a wish coming true. Something that seems impossible is now being manifested in your reality. A prayer is being answered, and it's being answered in the form of this Ace of Wands. So something is coming into your life. And again, like you're meant to run with that opportunity. So what have you been wishing for in terms of your career? Because that's what's coming about. Now, with this mentor and orphan child, I do think for some of you, this could be you reaching a point of success in the future to where you can serve as an inspiration and a mentor to other people. Like, this is how you turn something from nothing. Like, this is how you make it. So I feel like some of you come from very humble beginnings, or no one in your family has done what you've achieved, or are going to achieve. Like, you're doing something that's quite different, and you're doing something that, again, like, it's difficult to find success in what you're doing, and that's why it seems so magical and incredible. And I think that's why you have so much divine support, and probably why it's taken so much time, you know, why it's required so much patience, because the universe has been, you know, lining things up for you to assist you in this success. And so, you know, I think it's kind of beautiful. Like, if you start off entirely on your own with a dream and you have no support, but you have your dream, and then you reach a point of success where you get to mentor other people so they don't have to be alone the way that you were alone. That's a beautiful success story, right? Like, someone, like, you know how they say, like, rags to riches, and then against all odds, like, you made it, and then you get to be, you know, like, almost kind of like a life coach. Like, you know, if I can do it, anybody can do it kind of energy, because, you know, I was alone. I had nothing except divine support. So I think that's really beautiful as well. Others of you could also be doing something with your career where you help people who feel lost. You know, maybe not necessarily like literal orphans, but people who feel lost, people who feel like they don't have anyone in their life to support them, and you help those people, you know, in terms of healing or spiritual support. So you could do something in relation to spirituality or even in like the mental health field. I could see that being relevant. Or even if you're an artist and you're doing something creative, because art can be very healing for people, right? Like music, books, movies, like these things like feed our soul and help us feel seen and feel less alone in this world. So that could also resonate for some of you. Okay, I'm excited to see what this opportunity is for you. It's going to be different for everyone, but whatever door you've been wanting to open, whatever chance you've been wanting, yeah, like the right thing is coming into your life. Whether it's, you know, again, like a person, an opportunity, it's going to look a little bit different, but yeah, something's being offered to you. Okay, let's look at the rest of your oracle here. You have trust twice. So yeah, if you needed a reminder here, trust. And I think there's also a message here about like seeing is believing, believing is seeing. Like you're already doing it. It's sort of like you've already done it. The only thing left is to continue to trust and wait for your ship to come in, kind of thing. And I think also, even just the way that you've been patient and your tenacity and how you've persevered, even when other people couldn't see the outcome, you still believed that it was possible. I think the story of how this comes about for you and how this unfolds in and of itself is going to be inspiring to other people. Kind of like, who would be a good example of this? Like Katy Perry. Like I think she got her record label deal like kind of later in life. You know, like she had some failures along the way. I think a lot of artists start off like that, where they have like, you know, people saying no before you get your yes. Like Elisa Jewell's my favorite author, and she was talking about how many rejections she had before she got her first book deal. Like that's just the way that it goes. Like you just have to keep trying until someone sees you and until someone takes a chance on you and what you've created and believes in you. You know, sometimes that's how it works. You know, you have to deal with those rejections because Spirit wants you to have the right opportunity, not just any opportunity. So just trust in how this all unfolds and don't get discouraged. We have courage. Yeah, you're being asked to be brave. That lines up really well with the King of Wands, right? That fire sign energy. It's definitely going to take courage because I think you're trying to do something that is outside of the norm. You know, you're not trying to work a 9-to-5 job, and so a lot of people may not necessarily understand that. Or even if you are following a certain career path, you're doing it in a way where it's somehow unique to you. So like even if you're doing something that is viewed as practical, like maybe you have a degree in engineering and you know that is considered like a stable profession, but you're wanting to start your own business and that seems risky. So something like that could also resonate for some of you. Okay, and we have agreement here. There's like a soul contract here. Like this is definitely something that was planned for you to go through. This is something that your soul wanted. You have an agreement here with the universe. And really what's being asked of you is to trust. And when you're given that opportunity, take it, you know, in whatever form it shows up. Like that's the agreement. Is that as long as you continue to trust and you're brave and you act upon the opportunity given to you, you know, Spirit will do their part to make sure that your success is assured. So, you know, you're really working in tandem with the universe here. All right, we have light and love. Your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to this world. So yeah, a lot of you could be doing something in relation to spirituality, and this could also look like and even in terms of, again, like mental and emotional health as well. So this could look like maybe you want to start your own yoga retreat like program, or you want to even become a life coach, or you want to do something like maybe you want to open up your own store where you sell crystals, you know, something like that that's going to be very healing to people. Okay, and then this is very funny to me. You have career change. You're embarking upon a career that brings you the joy and abundance you desire and deserve. And then you also have you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. So I feel like in terms of being on the right path, like you're doing what you need to do to manifest this for yourself, but it is going to require a change for you. And that's probably where the bravery comes in. Like you may have to walk away from something in order to take advantage of the opportunity being offered to you. So you may have to leave something behind before that opportunity manifests, or the opportunity could force you to leave something behind. So And what you're leaving behind is something that, you know, is really like small change compared to what you're gonna get with the star card here and the prayers and wishes card. And so, yeah, I feel like that's also part of the agreement is, you know, to get one thing, you got to give up something else that's not serving you. You can't have both. And you shouldn't want both. Like, you shouldn't cling to something that really isn't in alignment with your purpose, isn't really making you happy, you know, doesn't feel right to you. You know, you shouldn't cling to that. Okay. Let's look at your tea leaf cards. We have Carrot, Opportunity, or Windfall. We've been talking about an opportunity over and over again, so I don't feel like I need to explain that. But Windfall could also be talking about getting unexpected money or resources that allows you to take advantage of what you've been wanting to do. Like, say for example, you really want to, let's say like you're really wanting to start a store and you need the space to get it started, like, and you just don't have anywhere in your home where you can work out of it and create this for yourself. And so maybe the opportunity is that someone says, hey, like, you can use like the workshop above my garage, like you can use that space for free. And you're like, really? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem, buddy. And so then that allows you to get a head start on your business, whereas before you were like, oh no, like I'm gonna have to wait and save up money for a space, and I'm gonna have to, you know, be able to afford this much in rent, you know, to be able to have a workspace, you know, in order to create what I want to create, kind of thing. So this could look like so many different things because this is a general reading, but it's definitely going to be an opportunity, or, you know, it's going to be the resources or the money to do what you want to do. And it's going to be, I think, again, unexpected, like something being handed to you from the sky. You know, the star card is big energy. Okay, we have Candle, You Will Be Shown the Way. Yeah, it's a lot about trust, you know, like you gotta follow that light in the dark kind of thing. It's giving me like moon card energy now, like following your intuition, you know, just trusting the light of the path in front of you, staying to the path, trusting in the divine. Yeah, there's a lot of that. We have Ring, a marriage will take place, either romantic or business. So this could be in relation to you getting a business partner. That could be the opportunity that arises, is that someone comes through to help you out, so you could have a collaborator. This could also talk about going into business with maybe like your future spouse. That could also be a thing. Yeah, I also feel like this is a beautiful marriage between you and Spirit, honestly. Like, you're really creating something beautiful together by trusting them. This could also talk about that relationship between a consumer and a creator. You know, so that could be referring to, again, like your customer base, the people who like what you do, who use your products, you know, whether that's something artistic that you're creating, a service that you're providing. That could be the connection between, you know, you and a fan, or you and a customer, or you and a client. So a beautiful marriage, you know, both of you are benefiting from this transaction kind of thing. We have Staff, you will be taken care of in difficult times. Yeah, like if there is maybe a loss of money during the transition. So like, you know, like if you have to give up your crummy job. I'm leaving behind a crummy job. Don't feel bad, pile two. If you're leaving behind a crummy job, and you know you need to give up this job to pursue this other thing, or you have a sudden opportunity and it's not going to work with the hours that you have to do at your crummy job, you know, you may lose some money initially because you don't have that steady paycheck at first. But you're being divinely protected, like it's all going to work out in the wash kind of thing. And then we have Mule, someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. I think, honestly, I don't feel that this is you. Now, if this is you, you're still in the Eight of Swords and you need to get to that King of Wands energy, like right now. But honestly, I feel like for most of you, this is one of two things. It's either your current working environment is not changing. Like if you're still holding out hope that it's going to get better overnight somehow, it's not. If anything, it's going to get worse because Spirit is trying to push you out of it. I'm resonating with this message so much. Like I mentioned this in another reading that at my current job, it was always just meant to be a paycheck to get me through until I graduate with my master's. But I have felt like in the past maybe like 6 months or so that things have just gotten worse and worse and worse to like a ridiculous degree. And it has made me wonder, like, is Spirit trying to get me to leave this sooner than I had planned? Because I planned on leaving at the end of November, and it was kind of just building and building and building. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how much more can I take? Like, this is ridiculous. And so I actually am gonna leave earlier than I had planned. But yeah, you may have something like that in your life where your current work environment is just getting so awful, and it's because Spirit is trying to push you out of it. And then also for others of you, this could also just be saying the people around you who aren't supportive of your vision and think that you're never going to find success in like what you're feeling called to do, they're never going to change. You know, they're always going to have that limited perspective, and you don't need other people to believe in you because Spirit believes in you. You got the trust card twice, and now that I'm thinking of it, I feel like the message is also trust in us because we trust in your abilities. We trust that you can do this. We chose you for this mission. So you got this. Like, we chose you for this purpose. You are more than capable. You are more than talented enough. You have the work ethic and the drive and the passion to do this. So just trust in yourself the way we trust in you. And it doesn't matter what the naysayers around you think or say to you or try to cut you down, even if it's people who are supposed to be your biggest supporters and they're just not on board. Okay, you know, like, that's on them. They'll see, you know. So just work quietly at your goal here, and you know, you'll prove them wrong in the end, and it kind of doesn't even matter because it's really just about showing yourself that you can do this and showing Spirit that, yeah, like, you're willing to put in the work. Okay. So let's actually use the Astro dice now. And when I not shuffle, what is it? It's not shuffle. What is it? When I roll the dice, sorry guys, I got up very early for work this morning. When I roll the dice here, it may be really loud. So if you have headphones, you might want to turn it down while we do this part. Okay, pile 2. Career message for my pile 2s, please, Spirit. What else do we need to know? Pile 2. Okay, we've got Taurus here. We've got the first house, and I don't recognize this symbol at all. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up. This dice is still new to me. So let's look up this symbol, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is Uranus. So I'm sorry. I'm giggling because I'm really loving the dice. So the fact that you got Uranus here tells me that you're doing something that's quite revolutionary. Again, I think it's both in what you're doing and the way that you're doing it that is, again, like, very different and very inspiring. But then also there is this success and this financial stability with Taurus, because Taurus talks about, yes, like, hard work and, you know, putting in the effort, but it also talks about luxury and material status. So I really do feel like you're gonna be rewarded for doing this. Like, it's gonna be something that's mutually beneficial. Like, financially, it's gonna be beneficial to you, but it's also gonna be beneficial to, again, like, customers, fans, whoever is using the service or the product that you're creating, or the people who enjoy your work, like they're getting something from it as well. And it's something, at least partially, in relation to adding like beauty and love and light and healing energy to the world. So it's very beautiful. I also feel like with the first house in Taurus, you're gonna feel so successful. You're gonna feel so good about yourself as a result of this, and that's part of what you're getting out of it in like a healthy ego kind of way. Like, I feel good about myself. I feel like I've really achieved something here. I'm proud of myself, and you should be proud of yourself. So I think it's really also helping you share your authentic self with the world. So there could be some aspect of like self-disclosure in what you're doing, and that is very like healing to other people to see you be so brave and so open. So that could be like putting, you know, your heart into a creative project, you know, like putting your soul, your passion into a novel or a screenplay, or you know, like sharing something, like sharing a personal story. Like if you had a YouTube channel and sharing a personal story, you know, while you were making a video, and that content brings a lot of healing energy to people. Or, you know, sometimes mental health therapists will self-disclose. They have to be judicious about that. So that could also be something as well. Yeah, there's something about you being your authentic self, and you living in your passion, and you being open about who you are, that in and of itself is very healing to other people. And it's all tied up in your career. Okay. So let's end your reading with these two final messages. We have release, light in your load, and we have strength. Don't let weeds and thistles cultivate in your garden. These weeds and thistles, I think, is relating to this mule card. Like, don't let people put you down on your path. Don't let people tell you that you can't do this. You know, just focus on your own inner strength and your own inner guidance from spirit, and just let it, you know, let it flow like water off a duck's back. Like, don't be bothered by people trying to limit you in any way. And then with this release card, again, there's going to be something that you have to give up to get to where you want to be. So that's going to be different. You know, for some of you, it's releasing those self-limiting beliefs. For others of you, it's leaving behind a job that you know, like is not sustainable either financially or even in terms of your mental and emotional health. So just take whatever resonates, but there is something that needs to be released here. Okay, so pile 2, this was a very beautiful reading. Thank you so much for letting me do this for you all. Please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. I know they can be annoying, so I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who chooses to do any of the things that I just listed out. Please take care of pile 2. I'm wishing you the best of luck in your career. I'm very excited for you. This looks so promising. Thank you for your patience with the Astro Dice. I'm excited to continue to use these and learn all the different symbols. The zodiac signs I'm pretty clear on, and obviously the houses I know. I love astrology, so that all I'm familiar with. It's these little signs that are tripping me up a little bit. Some of them are obvious, like the moon and the sun, and like this is Mars, but a few of them I'm like, what is this, you know? I know this is either the north or the south node, but yeah, it takes me a second to orient myself. So thank you all for your patience with that. But yes, I will see you all in my next one. Take care, pile 2, and yeah, I wish you well. Hi pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you all got so many more cards than the other groups in terms of your tarot. So I do have more oracle cards. They're just put to the side. So we'll go through your tarot first, and then we'll go into the oracle. But you have 6 of Swords, King of Cups, we've got Death, we've got the Knight of Wands, we have the Star card, we have the Hierophant, we have 2 of Pentacles, and we have the Tower. So I love that your reading starts off with this 6 of Swords, because this talks about moving in a more positive direction. And so even though you know, the waves have been choppy, things have been difficult. Help is on its way with this boat here. Like, you're gonna get to a safe space, you're gonna get to a better place of stability, and things aren't going to be as they were before. So you are getting some sort of help and assistance to get you out of this. And it looks like to me that it's in the form of some sort of divine intervention, because we also have the Tower here. Now, typically, this would be a little bit terrifying, right? But in your reading, you also have the Star card and Death. So what is being taken away here seems like it's being immediately replaced with a new start, and it's going to be something that you've been hoping and wishing for. So it's almost like you have been manifesting this Tower moment. Like, typically the Tower is unexpected, it's uncomfortable, it's kind of feels like the rug has been pulled out from under you, but it's kind of like you've been hoping for divine intervention to knock this over. Like, you've been like just wanting this thing to end. And so, you know, because of that, it's very much like a welcome Tower moment. You're like, yeah, Spirit, burn it down. Like, I don't want this. And so Spirit has like heard your call and they're answering it. And, you know, I feel like you're at a place of real emotional maturity here with the King of Cups. Like, you just know what is going to make you happy. And with the Knight of Wands, like, you're brave enough, you've got enough like moxie, you know, you got enough spunk to go after it. Like, your heart is like open, you know, like you're just ready. You're like, I trust in you, Spirit, you know, like, I've done my research on this, like, I just have this belief that it's all gonna work out. And, you know, like, there's no back and forth. You know, typically the Two of Pentacles illustrates like trying to balance two things, but these cats here are already in balance. And so it feels like you're not struggling to balance out any of this, like in terms of how you feel about this emotionally, in terms of your willingness to like do the work and take the actual risks in your life to get this moving, in terms of making peace with this. Like, you know, you're just ready for it. You're just ready to completely wipe the slate clean and start all over, and you're just ready for it. You know, like, you're not, all of this energy should be terrifying. Like, all of it should be like, whoa, this is a lot of change, but you're just like, give it to me. Like, I'm ready. You know, like, you're in your power. You're like, I got this. Like, you just trust in your own wisdom, and you trust in the wisdom of Spirit. And so this is a very spiritual group. Like, you're just, we don't have the Fool card here, but everything about this is kind of like, it's kind of like taking that leap of faith off of a cliff like the Fool, except you're doing it from a place where you're very wise and you've been around the block a couple times, and you're not, yeah, you don't have maybe the rose-colored glasses of the Fool, you know, like, you don't have this everything's gonna work out perfect kind of energy to you. You're like, yeah, I know this transition's gonna be rough. I know it's gonna, you know, cause me to have to step up. I know it's gonna be, you know, a wild ride, but I'm still ready, and I'm still gonna take that leap of faith. I know what this is. I know what I'm asking for. Let's do it. Let's go. And that's really, I think, why we don't have the Fool card here, but that energy of taking a leap of faith is. Okay. Prosperity is also over here, guys. Like, as this tree grows strong, so fine, so may I prosper from the universal divine. Your career path is going to be prosperous, but there's some sort of sudden ending and some sort of change internally as well that is happening. So everything here is being alchemized and shifted so that you can step into this prosperous path, you know, like, it's time to course correct and get going, you know, and whatever has to be burned, you know, like, just burn it all down. Like, you don't even care anymore. there's a real carefree energy here. You know, like you just trust so much in spirit. It's very beautiful. Okay, let's get the rest of your oracle cards here. I'm trying to get them in a reasonable order, so it's kind of similar to the other groups. Okay, I think this is better. We have affirmation for acceptance. You're rolling the dice here. You're willing to trust in faith. These crows make me think of, you know, listening to wisdom from spirit, you know, looking for signs, looking for synchronicities. Again, it's like you prayed for this tornado and it's here, and you're using that storm to fly yourself out of a situation that wasn't serving you. So this could be so many different things. This could be like in the Everyday Witch Tarot deck, the Tower card in that deck shows a witch pointing a wand at a tower that has crumbled, and she's looking at the viewer with this like self-satisfied like smile on her face, like she's like, I did it, like I tore that tower down myself, I'm happy about it, you know. You know, she spent so long building it, but she knew it wasn't stable, and she was like, I'm gonna tear this sucker down myself. And so that's kind of like the energy here. Like, you prayed for some sort of divine intervention and you're getting it, and you're riding that storm out. So this could look like you just really, really wanting to leave your job, and then you've been praying for an ending, and then you get a notice that you're being downsized, you know, or laid off, and you're like, yes. And people are like, why aren't you like concerned about that? And you're like, I've been wanting this, like, you know, like I've been wanting this ending. And so there could be something like that, you know, just apply it how it resonates to your life. That's a very specific example. But yeah, there's some sort of divine intervention, and yeah, you're ready for fate to carry you like where you're meant to go. We have Don't Let Pride Get in Your Way, full moon in Leo, and then we have new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears. So yeah, it's like a point of completion, an ending, and a new beginning. And so yeah, like it is scary, it is going to be uncomfortable, it's massive change. You got Scorpio energy twice. You may be kind of down and out when that tower moment happens, but it's not going to last for long, that energy, because the Star card is already here. It's already in your energy field. So yeah, it may be difficult when whatever comes to an end, and you're like, oh man, like I know I was hoping for this, but like, you know, there may be a little bit of cold feet for like a second, but I really don't think it's lasting long. Like I feel like you're just gonna work through those fears and just, you know, it may not be the most comfortable ride, but you're on it. You know, you've signed up for this roller coaster, and you're like, spirit, lead the way, and they're leading you to prosperity. We have longevity here. We have stimulation. You deserve a career path that's gonna stimulate you, like intellectually challenge you, allow you to be creative, allow you to use your skills, you know, for the better. I'm actually gonna shut my door because I feel like you guys can hear the laundry. Sorry about that. I had like tuned out the noise, but I don't know if you all could hear it. Okay, yeah, like you deserve something that is gonna not be too easy for you. Like you were meant for more than a mundane job where you just show up, go through the motions like a robot, and leave and go home. You know, you deserve more than that. You're capable of more than that, and it's time to be in a career path where, you know, your skills are being utilized and your talents are being utilized in a way that serves a greater purpose for the collective. And that's why Spirit is helping you. And this, when you get on this path, like it's what you're meant to do. And so this is going to be a career path where you have longevity, where you have long-term success and stability. You're not going to have to go through another tower moment in your career because you're going to be aligned with the right path. Okay, we have the Eternal Child. Determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. And we have Artist, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Some of you could have been drawn to pile 1. This card is making me think of the poet card that they got, because it's like you're meant to create your own life here. You know, you're meant to be the artist of your own life, and you're meant to feel like what you're doing is beautiful. And it's something I think connected to your inner child here. Like, what did you like to do when you were a kid? Because that could be pointing you to where your career path is meant to go for some of you. Also, this literally could be that you want to be an artist of some sort, and you know, that requires a lot of faith, right? Because that can be a difficult path to take. You know, some people really struggle to find success in that area, you know, sort of the stereotype of the struggling artist kind of thing. So that could be a fear that you have. I also feel like there's going to be an element of play and creativity to your career path, where because you're having so much fun with it, it doesn't feel necessarily like work. You know, it's like work you're happy to do because it's in alignment with your passion. And it's something that, you know, you created for yourself. And I also feel like, in a very practical sense too, it's going to be a career path that's good for your health, because you're not going to be plagued with chronic stress and, you know, feeling like you're not living up to your potential, or, you know, just dealing with annoying people and circumstances to go to a job that doesn't fulfill you. You know, it can be frustrating and, you know, raise your cortisol levels, and chronic stress is terrible for our health. So that could also be something like, this is going to be a job that keeps you young, you know, because, you know, you feel happy and you're not so stressed. We have writing here. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words that you write. And we have study. Reading, research, and education help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. Some of you could be going back to school, or you have to study and put in the effort to figure out how to make this career path work for you. Some of you too could be like writers. You're wanting to write a book kind of thing. This could also be like you getting struck with some sort of inspiration or some advice or assistance that helps you, you know, like complete a project if you are writing something. This also, again, just feels like creating and writing your own story. You know, so like, yes, there is this divine intervention, but you're the one who prayed for it. Like, you're the one who asked for it. So it's like Spirit is acting upon your directions, and your directions feel like a fated event, you know, because it's like you are always meant to be pushed to ask for this thing because it is your soul's calling. So it's kind of like free will and fate are all intermingled and meshed here. You know, like they're working as one, which is very cool. Very cool. I hope it makes sense. Okay, let's get into your tea leaf fortune cards here. We have 4-leaf clover, great, good fortune. So yes, there's something very lucky about what is going to happen to you. We have wishbone, a wish is granted. So this is the star card all day long. What have you been wishing for? Your reading kind of actually feels like a combination of pile 1 and pile 2, just a little bit. We have bouquet, compliments from an admirer. That makes a lot of sense. Like if you're resonating with the artist or writer messages, like you would have admirers of your work. This could be like being discovered by somebody. Like that could be the 6 of Swords and the Fate. Like, you know, maybe you're an artist and your work gets discovered, and then all of a sudden you're being offered some sort of deal to like showcase your art in some gallery, and then your life is changed forever as a result of that kind of thing. Oh, the little orange stray cat that I've been feeding outside is walking by. It still looks very sickly, and I wish that I could, you know, catch it in a safe way and get it to the vet, but I will give an update. Its fur is looking a lot better. It has the floofiest, most majestic, fluffy orange fur ever, but it's been very matted because it's been outside for a while now. I've been feeding this cat for months, but the cat is looking better and it's still alive, and that's something to be grateful for. Okay, anyway, we've got Beetle, we've got Good Fortune. Oh my gosh, like, good fortune, a wish is being granted, you're very lucky. Like, yay for you, pile 3. Key, successful outcome to your problems. I do feel like you guys got some problems. Like, I do feel like you have some things in your life that you just are not happy with. Like, you wouldn't have the Tower and the Death card if that wasn't true. And so getting, like, it's almost like best case scenario is happening. Like, the best, most magical outcome, too good to be true, that's what's coming for you in terms of your career. Crown, honor and respect will come to you. Yeah, like, you're gonna be admired for your work. You're gonna be in a position where you're the boss, you're the leader, you're in control. Yeah, it just feels like you're getting your crown. We've got Shield, you need to defend yourself. And we have Angel, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. So Spirit is definitely protecting you here, but I think with the Shield card as well, like, remember how we said it was going to be a bumpy ride? Like, there are definitely going to be people who are probably jealous of your success, because this feels like overnight things change for you kind of energy. There are also going to be people who are critics of your work. Like, I think when you're in a place of, when you're in the spotlight, is what I should say. When you're in the spotlight, there are going to be people who applaud you, and there are going to be people who tear you down simply for the sake that they wish that they were as happy and successful in their life as you are. And that's unfortunate that people feel the need to do that. You know, if you don't like something, you don't like something. It's not a reason to tear someone down, you know, especially if you're a creative person and, you know, you put your heart and your soul into your work, and then someone just criticizes you and rips you to shreds for no good reason, you know, like, just comes for your neck, and you're like, wow. You know, if you don't like it, you don't have to look at it. You don't have to read it. You don't have to listen to it. You know, you can just move on with your life kind of thing. So you may encounter some critics and, you know, people who are judgmental of your work or jealous of your success or your progress, and that's unfortunate. You know, this could also be a scenario where the people you expected to be happy for you are not, and are maybe, you know, a bit jealous. And my personal advice, this isn't from Spirit, but my personal advice is maybe give those people some grace if they're close to you, and just see if their tune changes, because sometimes jealousy comes up unexpectedly, and we may not even, it may not even be intentional, it may be subconscious. And so sometimes we have to take a moment, recognize that, and then we're like, okay, I was jealous, like, I need to be supportive of my friend and, you know, move on and, you know, get out of my ego. You know, we all have egos. But if it continues to be a problem and they become disrespectful, then it may be time to evaluate that connection, friendship, relationship. So that's just my personal advice. I've witnessed that sometimes where I was quite taken aback. Like, I thought someone was going to be so happy for me because I'm always happy for them. And, you know, it's disappointing to encounter otherwise. But I've also had those people sometimes come back and apologize. So, you know, just give people a little bit of grace. But if it becomes an issue where you're being disrespected, then definitely, you know, do what you gotta do. Okay, let's get into your Astro dice. So this may be a little bit loud, so if you're wearing headphones, you might want to turn down the volume. Okay, so pile 3, career message for my pile 3s. Let's see what we have. So we've got the 9th house. So you could definitely be doing something where there is travel involved. Absolutely. The 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius, so you could definitely be going back to school because Sagittarius also deals with higher education. You could be traveling. You could be experiencing different cultures. You could be learning something very deeply, and you could also be doing something that philosophically resonates with you as well. Okay, I need to look up this symbol. I'm still learning some of the Astrodice symbols, so bear with me. I will be right back. Okay, so this is Pluto, and I feel silly for not knowing that because I had to look that up earlier this week when I was playing around with these. So this is Pluto, and then this is Pisces. So Pisces energy. I feel like that really speaks to kind of this energy of your dreams coming true, but it being so surreal. Like when this opportunity, you know, this fated event, this divine intervention happens that you've been praying and hoping and wishing for, when that happens, it's gonna feel so surreal. Like this isn't real, because Pisces really kind of delves into our dreams and like our psychic abilities. And so it's gonna make you feel like, whoa, like I didn't realize I had that kind of psychic connection with spirit. Like I didn't realize I had this kind of power. And it is gonna feel like it's not real, like kind of like the energy of like, I need to pinch myself, am I dreaming? You know, like that kind of feeling. And then with Pluto too, this is again Scorpio. You got Scorpio, you got the death card, and now we have Pluto. So Scorpio rules Pluto. So there is a deep transformation. I think there's a transformation in terms of your external circumstances, you know, like your financial stability is changing, what you do for work is changing, the people that you associate with are changing, your confidence level is changing, but then also internally you are changing. And it really feels like things are clicking into place, and it really does feel almost like a reality shift. That's what it feels. It feels like you've like jumped into a different reality. Like you have you guys ever read The Midnight Library? It's like that. It's like I really recommend you reading that book. It's exactly like that. It's like you've just picked a different story, a different version of yourself, and it's one more in alignment with what you want, and now you're living that life. It's like you just step into a whole different life, an alternate reality. That's what it feels like. It's so dramatic to say that, but I feel comfortable saying that. Given your tea leaf and your tarot and now the Astrodice, that's what it 100% feels like. Okay, let's look at your secret garden messages. Also, I should give a trigger warning with the Midnight Library. If you read the synopsis, you'll know why. But there is some, let's say, some severe mental health issues discussed in that book. Okay. We have Relax, Delight in Powdered Gold Sunshine. And we have Opportunity. There's no use looking for luck. It arrives at unexpected time. You don't need to go looking for this luck. It's going to find you because you prayed and you wished and you hoped for it, and Spirit is delivering it to you in a bow kind of thing. And then you can just relax because you've already done, I think, all the manifestation work, all the praying and wishing and hoping, like you've already done it. And you really just need to ride the ride. Like, you know, like you asked for divine intervention, and yeah, ride the ride, fate and acceptance, because your free will is all tied up into it. This really feels like you have surrendered so much, and Spirit is so impressed with how much you're trusting them, and they're like, thank you. And Spirit is saying, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and create what you've been wanting? And that's how that free will is getting enmeshed in fate. You know, it's all getting alchemized together, and that's what's causing this reality shift into the version of yourself, I think, that you have always dreamed, and the life you've always dreamed that you could lead. So I think this is definitely going to affect more than just your career, but I think your career is definitely the focus of this new life that you're creating for yourself and that Spirit is creating for you. All right, Pile 3, what a reading. I had intended for this to just be a short little career message, and then all the readings today have been just so dramatic. So I don't know why I set these intentions. Like, I should really just be open to like whatever is gonna happen. But anyway, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you always know when I upload. The easiest way to support the channel is to watch the ads. I know they can be irritating, so I want to say a huge thank you to anyone who chooses to do any of those things. You're supporting my dream, so I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm wishing you the very best. I'm very curious to see how this all plays out for you. And best of luck to you, and I will see you all in my next one. Take care, Pile 3.